Welcome to the Texas Agriculture Law YouTube channel. I'm Tiffany Lashman. Today I want to talk about a piece of estate planning advice that's really important, but I think sometimes overlooked when we're thinking big picture about all the different aspects related to farm and ranch estate planning. And that is keeping your beneficiaries up to date. Again, this can be super easy to overlook because we're usually focused on things like how are we going to write the will, or do we need to have a trust, or what terms should be in an LLC agreement. It's easy to forget about something as simple as beneficiary designations, but it can be hugely important when you're looking at an estate situation when someone passes away. So just a quick reminder, there are some assets that pass outside the will. Typically, these pass by contract, and that happens through what's called beneficiary designations. So, for example, if you get a life insurance policy, you designate a beneficiary of that policy, right? And in that contract with the life insurance company, you designate who will get those funds upon your death. Same thing, you see this sometimes with retirement accounts or transfer on death bank accounts, right? You're going to designate a beneficiary contractually for those assets. Those pass by that beneficiary designation, they don't pass through the will. So even if you had a will that said, I leave everything to my spouse, if you have beneficiary designations that don't leave those assets to your spouse, that will doesn't govern those. And we've seen absolute horror stories where folks have, taken a job, and at the time they were unmarried, and now, 20 years later, when they pass away, leaving behind a wife and 3 kids, they never change those beneficiary designations. So I would really encourage you, take the time to walk through your assets. Think about things like retirement accounts, investment accounts, bank accounts, life insurance. Double check that all of those beneficiaries are up to date. Make sure you have those lined out exactly how you want them to be. And remember to keep that updated. Probably the best practice is to do a yearly review of your entire estate plan, including your beneficiaries. I always encourage folks, pick a day. Maybe it needs to be January the 1st. Maybe it's your birthday. Maybe it's a random day in the summer, whatever you want to choose. But pick a day that you're going to go back through and review to make sure things like beneficiary designations, folks named in your will, people who you've appointed to make medical or financial decisions on your behalf. Make sure those are all up to date. That's really an important piece of the estate planning process.